Hello, everyone. It has been a something of a marathon plus a sprint. I'm sort of in that hustle mode at the moment because I'm working on my character design masterclass. As you can tell, let me give you a tour. I've sort of reshuffled my room a little bit. So this is normally the desk I work and draw and film at, and I'm filming on my little wooden desk for this one for a couple of reasons, which I'll get into in a moment. But I've got my top-down camera, my work area, my shoulder camera, filming from back here. I had a front camera, which has been taken and used elsewhere. My monitor, just so I can see what's on the shoulder camera, mic and blah, blah, blah. I had my laptop here, which I was following my notes on. The reason I've changed the setup is for two reasons. One, filming a course feels a little more intimate. So by having a littler desk with nice warm wood texture and being a little closer to the background creates a little more of a hug feel. It's like we're just, I don't know, it's a little more tight-knit, a little more close and focused. So that's sort of a flavor I wanted to go for. The other reason is some of the footage, because I'm creating new footage, I'm also taking some of the best bits of some of the best character design educational work I've done over the years, and one of the best portions of that was actually filmed on this table. So it's also for continuity purposes. So it should all flow together really nicely, and I'm really excited about that. It's the weirdest thing to like to be writing like where the new portions of the course will go. And there was this analogy I used when Sarah Renee Clark was visiting about digging for gold, panning for gold panning. And the reason that I immediately fell in love with that analogy is because it really captures the feeling of sort of brainstorm sketching, of iterating through those rough ideas. And the reason it works so well is because, like when you're panning for gold, you need to just accept that you're going to get muddy, you're digging in the dirt. And if you go panning for gold and you feel discouraged about picking up the pan and not seeing gold and just seeing a lot of dirt, the more you focus on the dirt and not the potential of what you're looking for eventually, the more you're going to get discouraged. So it's also like the fact that, like, if you're going to do all this brainstorm sketching and stuff, if you're worried about drawing something you don't like and you keep letting that get to you, you're just going to end up more and more discouraged. Whereas at the end of the day, through this process, if you just dive in head first, you know that through all the mud, you'll find little bits of gold, and your job is to just collect those. That's the fun bit. So rather than focusing on the mud or feeling discouraged by what you're not getting, which is our tendency as artists, if you just ignore all that stuff, embrace the mud, work in the mud, and just look for the gold, look for little specks of gold, and eventually you'll find little chunks, and you sort of bring it all together. And it's funny because, like, writing the new portions of the course, I'll do things like, do a demonstration of brainstorm sketching or refined sketching, and create X character. And I decided it'd be fun to make a sort of gold panner prospector type character to sort of really lean into that analogy. It's so weird to write that down in the course and not know what it's going to be. But it's also reassuring that I've done this so many times that I just know to trust the process. And even when I start and put pencil to paper, I'm like not loving what I'm putting down, but I trust the process, So for the first page, there's maybe a thing or two. Second page, okay, it starts to solidify a little bit more. And by the third page, I'm like, all right, I've got some stuff to work with here. So that's my brainstorm sketching process. And then I take everyone through the refining process and narrowing it down, testing the results, the things that you like. And then last but not least, producing an outcome. And I've got my gold man. I've got my little prospecting gold panner. And I just love it because he's a complete, fun, entirely real character that didn't exist before. When I wrote, I'll just design a gold panning man. Had no idea what it'd end up looking like. Zero. No picture in my head. And I think that's kind of an important part of the process, because if you have too much that you think it's going to be beforehand, you actually limit where you can go with it. So it's fun. It's satisfying to just write down, make a character that I hope is good, and then as a result, I end up with something I absolutely love. So that's been my day. That's just one of the things. There are pages and pages of demonstrations of mouths and eyes and noses and well, you know, it just goes on and on. There's more pages over here. So I'm producing a lot of new material, pairing it with a lot of material from the book, a lot of material from my previous Skillshare class, and just like putting all the best of everything I've ever done in one place. It's a lot of work and I'm mentally very exhausted, but it's really exciting. It's going to be really, really cool. So that's my little update. I'm going to wrap up with the question of the day. Alexandra, the engineer, says, as a person who has done many projects, products, art pieces, games, Warhammer Army, do you have a standard path you take during development? It would be great to hear advice on how to start a project, stages you need to go through, and what to consider in the process. That's a really cool question considering exactly what I'm doing in this course. The design process is a specific set of steps that you reliably go through and reliably get results. Doesn't matter what it is. You go through the same steps when you're producing a product. You go through the same steps producing a course. And those steps are, in the book, I had the 4 Ds. It was discover, design, develop, and deliver. For this course, I've changed it because it's been like 6-7 years and I was never super happy with it. And I'm too much of a fan of alliteration and, you know, clean segments. So now it's the 4 Ps. Let me know if you prefer this. I've gone with prepare, play. I forget. I just wrote it like yesterday. Prepare, play, polish, and produce. They're the new 4s. And the reason I didn't like the previous 4 was because design was the second step, but it's the design process. So it felt weird that it's the design process, but the design is a step. And then also design doesn't feel playful enough. Whereas if it's prepare, that's the same as discover. So it's like an exploration phase. Play is like muck around. And I think calling it play makes it more fun. That's the brainstorm sketching stuff. That's getting in the mud. And if that step is play, you know you're going in there to muck around. The third, being polish, is take those little nuggets of gold you're finding, bring it all together and start to shape it, start to find the flavor. And then the last one is produce, which is create the end result. That applies to everything. Every product I've ever made, whether it be an art box or a bag or whatever, starts with like a sketch of an idea. Starts with research, then starts with like a concept and sketches of an idea and playing with samples and trying different combinations. And then you slowly refine until you come up with the result that conceptually is perfect. Then you have to make it perfect. But by that stage, you've got a lot of the answers. You've got a lot of the things lined up, and it makes like all the decisions, all the hard decisions are already made incrementally. Same with this course. It's so interesting to me that the first iteration of writing this course was 1 page of dot points. The next iteration was like that had been expanded into 3 pages of expanded dot points. And that's expanded still into about 7 pages of every dot point has a sentence and there's like camera labels, like there's more like production elements that are like, this is going into filming now, so I need to sort of account for certain things. But it all started from the same sort of sketch, and it starts off being, you know, free moving and really flexible, and slowly solidifies after you sort of find the pieces that fit together. I hope that answers your question. This is all coming together really nicely. There's a lot of work to do, but I've done a lot of the legwork. There's a few other things I'm hoping to come back and do some shooting for later in the week. But my work tomorrow is primarily going to be finding all those puzzle pieces and pairing it with this and prepping all the voiceover stuff and making it really solid. So yeah, thank you everyone, by the way, for your feedback and your support and interest in all this, and for anyone who got the Animation Foundation, which I'm going to keep on sale, 25% off until this course comes out, which is aiming to be on the 1st of March. So there's like a week and a half left, 2 weeks left. No, just over a week left. So go check it out. Just over a week. I have just over a week to make a epic masterclass. I have all these substantial pieces. I have a lot of material. Just got to bring it together and make it the best thing that I could ever hope it could be, which I think I can do. Wish me luck. Bye.